What about atheists who are now trying to push for an eternal universe? What are some of the problems with an eternal universe?
Well, it doesn't meet the data, for one.
Sure.
The universe did have a beginning, and we go through that in our book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. That's why even atheists are saying that, that the universe had a beginning. Secondly, from a philosophical perspective, rather than even the scientific evidence, you can look at scientific evidence, second law of thermodynamics, universe is expanding, the radiation afterglow, the Einstein's theory of general relativity showed that space-time and matter are correlative. They had a beginning out of nothing. But if you look at the philosophical evidence, which is really what the Kalam is getting at, that space-time and matter had to have a beginning, particularly time had to have a beginning, because if time did not have a beginning, today never would have arrived. Mm-hmm. Because you can't traverse an infinite number of days. If there were an infinite number of days before today, today never would have arrived, because you'd always have to live another day, because there's an infinite number of days before today, before this day got here. But since this day is here, time must have had a beginning, and if time had a beginning, whatever created time must be timeless, which means that being didn't have a beginning, so the who made God question goes out the window.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, great.
The creator is timeless.
So one of the good analogies for this is Hilbert's Hotel.
Yes.
And so I encourage our viewers
to... Hotel is, it's a good thought experiment, but I think it requires too much brain power on my part to go through it. I just prefer to use the infinite number of days to demonstrate the same thing, that you'd never get to today if there were an infinite number of days before today. Sure. You'd always have to go through a day before today, because there's an infinite number of them before today got here, which means you'd never get to today.
Yeah, I often explain to my friends, if we were in a bar together and I offered to buy you a drink and you kind of accepted, I'd say I'd buy it you after an infinite amount of time. Would you ever receive that drink? And they think about it for a while, scratch their heads and go, well, no, I wouldn't, not after an infinite amount of time. And then I buy them a drink and I say, this proves that an infinite amount of time has not preceded today, for you have already received the drink from me. So I use that illustration sometimes in a bar or something, and
that works.
Gets people to understand.
Absolutely.
Oh, brilliant.
That is the argument in a pint size. Right?
Absolutely.
That's perfect.